Okay, so today we're looking at something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett and Tesla, right?
Yeah.
So kind of a puzzle. Like, why has this guy, this legendary investor,
Right.
stayed away from Tesla, especially with like all the stuff that's been going on with the stock?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he even threw in some April Fool's Day stuff too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're gonna like try to understand like where Buffett's coming from,
Oh, yeah.
um, and using these articles you gave us from March 22nd and April 1st, 2025,
Right.
and then also see what everyone else has been saying about Tesla, on the market.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. I mean, you've given us quite a bit to work with here.
Yeah.
We've got this Joe Banking Rates article, 3 reasons Warren Buffett doesn't own Tesla stock should you invest, from March 22nd.
Right.
And then we've got these funny ones from April 1st.
Oh, yeah.
Like, April Fool's Day. Did Warren Buffett buy Tesla for $1 trillion?
But
And Warren Buffett's $1 trillion Tesla takeover? An April Fool's masterstroke from the Economic Times? Yeah.
yeah. So we've got a good mix of, serious analysis and a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
And then to kind of bring us back down to earth, we've got this Investopedia article. Watch these Tesla levels as stock kicks off April with gains after Q1 sell-off.
Okay, so like right off the bat, why hasn't Buffett,
Yeah.
he's known for his smart investments, so why hasn't he bought Tesla stock for Berkshire Hathaway?
Right.
I mean, that Go Banking Rates article really lays out his main investing ideas,
Yeah.
Like, he wants companies with a durable competitive advantage,
Hmm.
reliable and capable leadership, and consistent returns on invested capital.
Right. Right.
So when we look at Tesla based on that, does it, like, pass the test?
That's really the key question, right? When you think about durable competitive advantage,
Yeah.
Buffett's talking about something that's hard for other companies to copy,
Yeah.
Like think about Coca-Cola. Their brand is so strong.
Right.
Or Geico and how good they are at what they do.
Yeah. It's tough to beat that. The Go Banking Rates article says Tesla was definitely first out of the gate,
Mhm.
and their brand was super strong at the beginning, but now they've got more competition.
Right.
I mean, all these car companies and new startups are jumping into the EV game.
Yeah.
So it's not so clear anymore if Tesla can keep that edge for a long time.
Yeah. It's not just enough to be innovative. Like once you got to keep innovating.
Exactly.
So what about the leadership then? I mean, Elon Musk,
Well, yeah.
he's a visionary, but like, is he reliable and capable
Yeah.
in the way that Buffett thinks about it?
That's a good point. Buffett usually likes CEOs who are more
Yeah.
traditional, the steady and predictable type.
Right.
Musk is brilliant, no doubt, but the article says a lot of people see him as unpredictable.
Yeah.
And for someone like Buffett, who really values stability and a long-term vision without a lot of drama,
Uh-huh.
that unpredictability could be a deal breaker.
Yeah. And then there's the whole consistent returns on invested capital.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for a value investor like Buffett. The Go Banking Rates article mentions some NBC News reports that Tesla's returns on invested capital haven't always been great.
Right.
Buffett wants to see a company making good profits from the money they invest. In a business like making cars where you need a lot of money up front,
Uh-huh.
having those returns go up and down might make him think twice.
Makes sense. And this is like right in line with what Buffett himself has actually said.
Right.
The article quotes something he said in 2024 to MarketWatch about how tough the global car industry is.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He's got that famous line about only swinging at pitches he likes. It doesn't sound like he sees Tesla as a good pitch, or maybe the whole car industry.
Yeah. What makes a pitch good for Buffett, though?
Like, what does that even mean?
I think for him, it's a business he really understands.
Uh-huh.
One with clear and predictable cash flow,
Yeah.
a strong moat to protect their market share,
Right.
and management he totally trusts. The EV market is so complex and changing so fast.
Right.
Plus, the things we talked about with competition and leadership might just make Tesla seem like too much of a risk.
That's interesting, though, because the article also talks about how Berkshire Hathaway has a lot invested in BYD.
Oh, yeah, the Chinese EV company?
Right, since 2008. So that seems kind of contradictory. Like, doesn't he hate EVs?
That's a great point, and it shows how Buffett's not always so black and white.
Okay.
The article says BYD's huge success in Asia, especially how they keep costs down,
Yeah.
probably made it a better investment for him. Buffett always loves value and strong fundamentals.
Uh-huh.
BYD doing well in a crazy competitive market like China.
Yeah.
Maybe with a different valuation and even a different management style that Buffett liked better back then.
Right.
Could explain why he went for it. Plus, the Asian EV market is totally different from North America or Europe.
So different markets, different competition, and maybe just different strengths.
Right.
Made BYD a pitch he liked, but Tesla not so much.
Exactly.
Let's look at what's been happening with Tesla's stock in early 2025, though. From these articles, it sounds like it's been all over the place.
It has been pretty rough.
Yeah.
That Go Welcoming Rates article from late March already mentioned that Tesla's stock was having a rough year.
Yeah.
It was down a lot since the beginning of the year, even though it was still up from the year before.
Okay.
The Investopedia article from April 1st really emphasizes this volatility.
Yeah.
It says Tesla was a leader in the decline of the Magnificent Seven stocks during the first quarter.
Wow.
It lost over a third of its value.
A third of its value.
Yeah. And the Magnificent Seven are those giant, super influential tech companies.
Right.
So for Tesla to be doing worse than them,
Yeah.
that's a big deal. It shows investors are worried.
So why the huge drop then?
Well, it seems like a few things are going on.
Yeah.
First, that increased competition we talked about,
Uh-huh.
especially Chinese companies like BYD pushing into Europe.
Right.
Then there's the brand perception issue.
Mm-hmm.
The Go Banking Rates article specifically mentions Elon Musk's political statements and, some of the people he hangs out with.
Right.
It's turning some people off the Tesla brand, and that can mean fewer sales.
It's so interesting that a company's stock can be affected by stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like their CEO's politics.
Yeah, it's a sign of the times, I guess.
So what about the actual sales numbers, though?
Well, both Go Banking Rates and Investopedia say deliveries in China are down and sales in Europe are slowing down.
Oh, wow.
So people are starting to wonder if Tesla can keep growing like they were before.
So with all these problems, what's Tesla doing about it?
Well, they're trying to make their cars more appealing.
Okay.
The articles talk about price cuts in a bunch of places.
Uh-huh.
This has got people talking about an EV price war,
Right.
where car companies keep cutting prices to compete, and that can hurt everyone's profits.
Yeah.
Tesla's also putting a lot of money into things like self-driving cars and energy storage,
Uh-huh.
hoping those future technologies will justify their high stock price.
Right.
But some analysts are unsure if those investments will pay off anytime soon. It's like they're trying to walk a tightrope,
Right.
investing for the future while also dealing with problems right now.
Exactly. The Go Banking Rates article does say that Tesla still has some big advantages, though.
Okay, like what?
It's important to be fair.
Yeah.
Tesla's still the top dog in the North American EV market.
Right.
And their charging network in the U.S. and other countries is a huge asset.
Yeah.
It gives them a leg up on a lot of these new companies.
Mm.
It takes a ton of time and money to build that kind of infrastructure.
Uh-huh.
So Tesla's way ahead there.
So they definitely have some things going for them.
Yeah.
But when we think about Buffett and his value investing style,
Right.
Tesla's valuation still seems like a problem.
Absolutely. That's a crucial point. The March 22nd Go Banking Grades article highlights how different Tesla's valuation is.
Mm-hmm.
It says their price to earnings ratio was like 115.81 as of March 20th.
Okay.
To put that in perspective, they compare it to BMW, which was only 7.13,
Wow.
and even Apple, which is a huge tech company, at 33.98.
Price to earnings basically tells you how much investors are willing to pay for every dollar a company earns.
Yeah.
A high PE means investors think the company is going to grow a lot in the future.
So Tesla's is really high.
Yeah, it means investors were betting on massive growth for Tesla.
Wow.
That high valuation means Tesla needs to really deliver exceptional and sustained earnings growth to justify that stock price.
Right.
But the Go Banking Rates article says, with sales slowing down and more competition,
Yeah.
it's not looking so likely that they'll hit those huge growth numbers.
Okay.
So investors might lose confidence, and that could push the stock down even more
Right.
as they adjust their expectations, For a value investor like Buffett,
Yeah.
paying that much for potential, especially with all the problems they're facing,
Right.
it's just not going to happen.
Okay, so now for the funny part. Those April Fool's articles about Berkshire Hathaway buying Tesla for $1 trillion.
Yeah.
They were pretty good jokes.
Oh, they're hilarious. The one from Go Banking Rates went all out. Yeah. Saying it was a huge all-cash deal, and even making up a quote from Buffett
Right.
about him secretly loving the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And the Economic Times article with that over-the-top title
Yeah.
really played it up too. It's interesting how these jokes show how people are so curious about and maybe even hoping for a connection between these two guys.
They're so different, though.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like the whole thing about Buffett having a secret Tesla collection and Elon Musk becoming Berkshire's chief meme officer.
It's ridiculous when you think about how different they are in public.
Yeah, totally.
The Economic Times article even had Musk's supposed demands,
Oh, yeah.
like unlimited social media access and a lifetime supply of See's Candy's peanut brittle. It's a funny way to show how different their styles and priorities are.
Right.
And of course, both articles made it clear that this was all an April Fool's Day prank. There was no acquisition. The Go Banking Rates article even reminded everyone about Buffett's previous statement about not wanting to compete with Musk.
Which really shows how unlikely a real takeover would be.
Right.
Even if it wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
It's like their whole philosophies are different.
Oh, totally.
Buffett's all about value and Musk's about disruption and crazy growth.
Exactly. The jokes were funny, but that Investopedia article from the same day, April 1st, gives us the real story about what was happening with Tesla's stock.
Okay.
It actually showed a bit of a rebound after that bad first quarter.
So even after that big sell-off we talked about, Tesla's stock went up a little.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's hard to say for sure, but probably a few things.
Okay.
After such a big drop in Q1, some investors might have thought it was a good time to buy, especially for a company like Tesla that's always innovating.
Right.
Plus, the gain happened just before they released their first quarter delivery numbers.
Okay.
Even though expectations were low, there might have been some hope that the numbers wouldn't be as bad as everyone thought. Or maybe even some good surprises.
That Investopedia article also mentioned some technical stuff about the stock.
Oh, yeah.
Like support and resistance. What does that mean?
So in technical analysis, support levels are prices where a stock has usually found buyers, which stops it from falling further. And resistance levels are prices where people have usually sold a lot.
Okay.
So it's harder for the stock to go up past those points. Investopedia said Tesla's support levels were around $225 and $186.
Yeah.
So those might be prices where buyers step in.
Okay.
And they said resistance levels were near $360 and $421. Which could stop the price from going up too much.
Then they mentioned something about a death cross and a possible new uptrend.
Right. Can I explain that one?
Yeah, break it down for us.
Okay, so a death cross is this bearish pattern where a stock's short-term moving average, usually the 50-day, goes below its long-term moving average, usually the 200-day. People usually think it means the stock is going to keep going down. But Investopedia also said that if Tesla's price stays above its lows from last month, it could mean it's going to start going up again.
Interesting.
So it's all about watching these technical indicators to see where the stock might be headed.
Okay, so to wrap it all up, it seems like Buffett's whole value investing thing, with needing a strong competitive advantage, reliable leadership, and consistent returns.
Right.
It just doesn't match up with what he sees in Tesla.
I think that's a good way to put it.
The competition, the leadership style, the up and down returns, plus that super high valuation.
Right.
Probably explain why he's never bought the stock.
That's a great summary. Tesla definitely has strengths, like their market share in North America and that charging network.
Right.
But they've also got some big challenges. More and more competition problems with how people see the brand because of the CEO, and a valuation that still suggests huge future growth, even though things aren't looking so good right now.
So
the crazy stock price and even those April Fool's jokes show just how much attention and speculation there is around Tesla.
Yeah.
But as of early April 2025, Warren Buffett buying Tesla is still just a funny story.
Okay, so here's something to think about.
Yeah.
Since Buffett did invest in BYD in the past, what would have to change, like, big time? Either in the whole EV market or with Tesla itself.
Right.
For someone like Buffett, who sticks to his rules to even consider buying Tesla, and with the stock bouncing around like this, is it a good time to buy? Or is it proof that people are worried about Tesla's future with all this competition?
That's the big question.
It's complicated. And like always with the market, we don't know for sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was fun.